Hello. I've seen a few posts on like Slicer forums and Facebook and stuff on how to get better, prettier looking bottom surfaces of your prints. By default, you would get a bottom surface like this is layer 1, and you get like kind of big stringy surfaces on the first layer. So why do you get that? And in addition, when you slice it like I have done here on this, I get the first few layers are like sort of, you can see there's like gaps here where it starts to print. So how can you fix this? How can you make this first layer more perfect? Now this does have a lot to do with the nozzle size, and it has to do with the layer width. Now I've talked about this in other videos. When you reduce the layer width, what happens is that it's like a gum. It stretches it before it, when it puts it down, so it's basically give less flow, and that causes it to stretch it a little bit. So it's kind of touch and go, but it can be adjusted to a certain degree. So in this case I'm using Gyroid infill, and that is based on the Gyroid infill is based on what you called sparse infill, and here it's set to 0.45, and I'm using a 0.45 nozzle, 0.4 nozzle. Now you can get some funny results if you reduce this to 0.2 and you slice it. It will look something like this. Which is kind of crazy. Can you go lower than that? And remember, this has to do with the layer width, not the height. Oh my god! Now this, when you use Gyroid, this directly affects the strength of the object, not the walls. The less walls you have, you need at least one, like I have here. But the inside filling defines the strength in this case, because Gyroid is made by sort of overlapping the patterns like that. Now, let's say you go down a few layers and you have this Gyroid at this just to get the spot. Then you get the real problems, because these layers here are like fillers, and this it would look bad compared to this. So how can you close this gap? Well, you have the initial layers. You cannot do this per object like I'm doing here. You have to go to the global setting, and you have to go into the quality setting, and here you have something called first layer height, and here you also have something called first layer, which is always a little bit thicker to get a good grip on the surface. Now you can compensate with this if you slow down the speed for the first layer. So if I reduce this to, let's say, 0.2, see what happens then to the very first layer. Now it looks like this. On the very first layer, it's really, really tight. Can you go lower? I don't know. Maybe? Yeah, now you got an error. So I would say 0.2 is like the lowest you can go there. I don't know if it's the lowest, I haven't tested. But if you want like a really good first layer look, then you can try with this one. And the second layer doesn't really have to be really big, but if you want to control that as well, I do believe it's the default layer that comes into place. If I change the default one, let's see if that changes that layer. It did. First layer. It does not seem like it is that smaller. Seems like it changed it a little bit. But not as much. But it doesn't really matter because the top one can just be left at the standard one. Actually, you could leave it at 0. That maybe standard. Anyway, just wanted to show you how you can change the very first layer density so you get prettier prints. But just remember, slow down the print speed under speed here. First layer infill. They have to be really, really slow for this to actually work. So I would say maybe 10. That would probably make it possible to print like that. I cannot guarantee the results, but according to the slicer, it should work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.